Welcome to the Revenge Bright channel. Please like and subscribe. In a quiet suburban town, where rows of white picket fences stood as silent witnesses to seemingly perfect lives, David and Emily Carter were known as the ideal couple. Their marriage was envied by many. David, a successful architect with a sharp mind and warm smile; Emily, an elegant woman whose charm lit up every room she entered. But beneath their polished exterior lay secrets that would unravel everything they had built. It all began with small things so subtle that most people wouldn't notice them. David started noticing Emily's late nights at work more often than usual. She claimed it was just stressful deadlines at her marketing agency, but something about her evasive answers made him uneasy. Then there were the perfume scents on her clothes, faint but unmistakable, a musky cologne he didn't recognize. And finally, the text she quickly minimized whenever he walked into the room. One evening, unable to shake off his suspicions, David decided to follow her after she left for what she said was a quick meeting. His heart pounded as he trailed her car through winding streets until they reached a dimly lit motel tucked away from prying eyes. He watched in stunned silence as Emily stepped out of her car, and then kissed another man passionately. It wasn't just any man, it was Ethan, one of David's closest friends since college. Betrayed not once but twice, David felt like the ground beneath him had crumbled. How could this happen? After years of love, trust, laughter, and shared dreams, how could Emily do this to him? Instead of confronting them immediately, David retreated into himself. For weeks, he acted normal around Emily, masking his pain behind forced smiles and casual conversations. Inside, however, a storm brewed. He vowed revenge, not just for himself, but for the sanctity of the life they had destroyed together. David knew he couldn't simply walk away or expose their affair publicly without consequences. No, this called for something far more calculated. Something poetic. Over time, he devised a plan so intricate that even Emily, with her cunning nature, wouldn't see it coming. He began subtly planting seeds of doubt between Emily and Ethan. Late-night calls disguised as wrong numbers, anonymous messages hinting at Ethan's supposed infidelity, and carefully orchestrated encounters designed to make Emily question Ethan's loyalty. At first, she dismissed these signs, but as they piled up, cracks began forming in her relationship with Ethan. Meanwhile, David also started amassing evidence against both of them: photos, text messages, anything that could prove their betrayal. But collecting proof wasn't enough. He wanted them to feel the same devastation they had inflicted upon him. As tensions grew between Emily and Ethan, David introduced the next phase of his plan. He anonymously tipped off Emily's boss about her frequent absences under false pretenses, leading to her suspension at work. Simultaneously, he leaked information about Ethan's financial indiscretions, which he cleverly fabricated, to his company's board of directors. Within days, both of them found themselves spiraling downward professionally. But David wasn't done yet. Knowing Emily's fragile emotional state, he staged a fake reconciliation attempt. One evening, over dinner, he pretended to confess his own flaws, claiming he'd been distant and neglectful. "I want us to try again," he said softly, tears welling in his eyes. Emily, desperate for stability amid chaos, agreed. Little did she know, this act of vulnerability was merely bait. Over the following weeks, David manipulated her guilt, making her believe their marriage could be salvaged if only she changed. He convinced her to sell her shares in the family business, transfer money into joint accounts, and give him access to her personal assets, all under the guise of rebuilding trust. When David felt the time was right, he unleashed the final blow. On a rainy night, he invited Emily and Ethan to meet separately, each believing the other wouldn't be present. Using forged emails and voice recordings, he lured them to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. Inside, they found themselves face to face, not with David, but with undeniable proof of their betrayal projected onto the walls. Photos, videos, transcripts of their intimate exchanges, all laid bare for them to see. The shock turned to panic when they realized they were locked inside, the sound of rain echoing ominously outside. David appeared moments later, calm and composed. "You took everything from me," he said, his voice cold. "Now it's your turn." What happened next remains unclear. Some say David vanished afterward, leaving no trace of himself or the couple. Others claim the warehouse burned down in a mysterious fire that night. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: Emily and Ethan were never seen again.